Right now we're going to talk about finding a common denominator. So what that means is I'm thinking about two fractions and I'm going to need to combine them together in some way. The wholes represent the same amount, but they're divided into different chunks. So let's say I'm thinking about something in halves, perhaps 1/2. And let's say I want to add to that something in thirds, like let's say 1/3. So I want to add these together, but I can't do it because my chunks, they don't line up on top of one another. So in order to compensate for that, what I need to do is find a number of chunks that lines up with both these and these. And my chunks that I'm talking about, those are really my denominators. So the way I'll do it is I want to find a way that lines up with thirds and with halves. So if I took that original that was split into thirds and I cut it in half, what I did was it was along one line and then my remaining section was split in half. So if I split all my other sections in halves, I should have a number that works, in this case 6. What that allows me to do in terms of adding is take 1/2. So here I've got 1/2. So I'll look at half of my whole. And then 1/3, that's going to be 2 of these sectors. When I add this up, I can see that's 5/6. But we'll talk about more why that works in a little bit. All right. So I want to find a common denominator to use with 1/10 and 3/4. So let's practice. 1/10. Well, what I'm going to do is I am going to first list the multiples of both denominators. After that, I'll circle the smallest number on both lists. And last but not least, and this is phrased in a kind of confusing way, I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same factor to change the denominator to the least common multiple twice. So let's talk about what that means. Twice meaning 1 for each fraction. Step 1, list the multiples. So I'll start with 10. If I count up by tens, I go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I'm out of room, so I'm going to stop. Multiples of 4, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. I'm out of room. I'll stop. Let's find the smallest number on both these lists. It happens to be 20. So 20 is the least common multiple that I will use. Step 2. Oh, circle the smallest number on both lists. That's what I did. I highlighted. That's okay. Step 3, multiply the numerator and denominator by the same factor to change the denominators. So let's start with 1/10. Since 10 times 2 is going to give us 20, I need to multiply both 1 and 10 by 2. So I'm taking 1/10 times 2 over 2. That gives me 2 over 20. I'll do the same thing with 3/4. 3/4, well, I know I want 4 to turn into 20. 4 times 5 gives me 20. So with 3/4, I'll multiply by 5/5. 3 times 5 is 15. 4 times 5 is 20. So I get 15/20. Now I have common denominators, and I'm ready to either add or subtract these two values, which you will do when you get to adding and subtracting fractions.